that's all right. Take the bumper, the hood, whatever you want. I got some duct tape if you need it.
What's going on, everybody? What's happening? Welcome back to You Know It, the bullshit. We haven't talked about the bullshit in a while, huh? Hope y'all are doing well. Living in some strange times, huh? Some historical bullshit going on around this country lately. Around this world, but y'all are like, oh man, what's up with you? Well, you know, we got the bed in the back again. You see that? The grocery gig, old job hopping Dustin, right? It's hopping them jobs because I don't want to stay and work for fucking nothing. Didn't even make the first minute. Oh well. Oh well, maybe we'll bleep that one. Yeah. So let's get into that because I know people are gonna be like, what the hell, why'd you quit another job? Because it's fun. You know what I mean? It's just fun to quit jobs and then fuck up your resume so people don't want to hire you in the midst of a trucking recession and all that. It's just exciting, you know? The grocery gig, the Aldi's gig, right? Nothing wrong with that job. So if you're interested in working there, go work there. Other than this, money isn't that great. It's $1,500 a week, but you don't even work 50 hours a week. So all that's good. Unloading the truck with an electric pallet jack. Nothing to it, man. You get some exercise, gives you something to do besides driving the truck. All that's fine. The hours were a little weird, you know, the days off. It was like 7 o'clock at night to 3 in the morning or something. Whenever you get done, the faster you get done, you get day pay. So you want to hurry, right? Or not. And then the days off were during the middle of the week. That did kind of suck a little bit, but I don't have any friends or social life anyway, so fuck it, right? Here's the deal. Michigan. I live in wonderful Michigan, all right? Michigan's kind of like New Jersey a little bit, right? When someone says they're from New Jersey, you picture like down in New Jersey where everyone's all assholes. But if you really go around New Jersey, there's a lot of places in New Jersey that are very beautiful, right? I'm in upstate New York right now. I'm actually at a distribution center and there's nobody else here. That is very strange. Usually in the morning at a distribution center, it's a bunch of people all jacked up and that old trucker testosterone kick in and everybody wants to hurry up and get in the dock and wait 4 hours and then 2 more hours for your dispatcher and all that. So what the fuck's the hurry? Simmer down. We're all going to die soon anyway. Just ask everyone to tell you. But New York State, right? Way different than New York City. It's nice up here. But anyway, with Michigan, right? We got Detroit. We got Flint. We got Benton Harbor. We got even Kalamazoo. We got lots of places. Lansing, where I'm at. You know, where they truck jacked me and stole my goddamn pickup truck. Here's the thing, my friends. As I said in those videos, if you watched them, being in the back alley in Detroit, east side, you know, 8 Mile Eminem, right? Davison Highway, all that nonsense, 3 a.m. all alone with the store keys and the alarm code, and there's like alcohol and shit in the store, and you got weird people popping out of the dumpsters, and I had this meth head dude that thought he was a goat, and he was chasing me around, and I didn't know if it was fight or flight, so I just got in a truck and ran away because nobody wants to kill a meth head, you know. All kinds of fucking crazy shit, right? That maybe I'll talk about throughout other videos, but I don't want to sit here and dwell on it. So I realized at that point that, you know what, man? It's only a matter of time. And then we had a driver get robbed. And I was like, see? See what I'm saying? So I said, man, fuck all this, dude. I mean, there are some other downfalls to that job. This is the kind of shit you deal with, man. Look at this pallet, all right? I mean, take a good look at that one. You're gonna stack boxes on top of bags of onions. But they were just regular job downfalls. Not enough to say, oh, I'm going back OTR again. But the ghetto shit, yes. I will tell more stories about that. That will fucking get you. Let's put it this way. We had dudes that are dark skinned, you know. The black fellas that live in Detroit, they were driving over to Weberville to work there, right? They didn't like going to the fucking places in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like more closer to their neighborhood type shit, but they know what neighborhoods to go in and what not to go into. And then my dumb ass just goes everywhere because I don't know the difference, right? That's how my pickup truck got jacked, because apparently I was in the wrong neighborhood, but I didn't figure that out until the next morning, and everyone was like, what the fuck were you doing in that neighborhood? Getting more alcohol. Duh. That's where the liquor store was. I didn't know that there was going to be a bunch of, you know, people that needed a Silverado, you know. So that's how that whole thing went. Other than that, you know, it wasn't that bad. I was home a lot, but as far as I go, you guys know I'm a trashy trucker and just couldn't do it. I like it out here. Can you fucking believe that shit? I like it out here. But it did take going home for a couple months, because I did what, like 11 years, I think, solid or something like that. Give or take, you know, I'd take a couple weeks off here and there. But I was burnt out, as you could probably tell in the videos, you know, towards the end there when I went OTR, or when I went local. So I went home and, I didn't do nothing for 2 months. I didn't do no job for 2 months. And then I worked at that place for 2 months. So that was kind of like half having time off. So it got me a kind of a reset on the whole over the road thing. So I'm actually kind of all right with being out here for now. I'll probably burn out again, you know. But hey, you know, welcome to another trucker just sitting in his driver's seat complaining about the world and trucking and all that shit. Because that's what we do. Yeah, so here I am. Hope y'all are doing well. It's been a struggle. It's going to get better, though. It's already getting better. Might get worse a little bit before it gets better with these tariff things going down, but maybe it won't. There's some progress going in that direction. Now, it depends on who you ask, because it seems like the dumber the people are, they think they know some stuff. Ooh, I must be an idiot, because I got like a whole bunch of videos. But it's hard to see your own stupidity, you know? So, don't listen to everybody. Just listen to me, because I fucking know shit. But yeah, where I'm at right now. In an international. I've actually never had a international OTR truck. Day cabs. And I wasn't so sure about it, but I like this truck. That's kind of pissed me off. I just stopped and got it washed, and they said it wasn't going to rain. It's fucking raining, man. Messed my wheels all up and shit. You know what I'm saying? Damn it. But the international, took me a minute to get used to it. I like it. It's alright. It drives... Alright, it's not... The sleeper's not as big as a Cascadia, right? Or even as big as a T680. But it's big enough. It's bigger than a Mack. So it drives better than a Cascadia. Because you ain't sitting right on that steer axle bouncing your ass all over the road. You know, knocking your teeth out and stuff. So that part I like. It's obviously brand new. Right? Well, it's hard to tell because sometimes I keep old trucks looking brand new, huh? But yeah, it's brand new. It's actually my second brand new one that I've had since I worked here. Because that's how I roll, man. I put like 3,000 miles on it and they give me another one. Now we had some issues, you know. Made in Mexico. Made in Mexico, my friends. So this truck, I don't know, man. I like it. I had a choice when I came in. I called dude up. We talked about money, all that nonsense. He's like, go over, I got a place over in Lansing for you to take a drug test. I said, no, I got to come see the truck, man. I get jacked on that a lot, you know. He's like, well, I got 3 brand new ones there. I said, oh, they're all brand new? He's like, no one's ever been in them. Okay, well, that's work. That'll work. I don't need to see the truck then. What do you got? Volvos and Internationals. And I will tell you, these new Volvos, they're pretty sharp. I think when you look at them, right, they look a little bit like a Tesla truck, don't they? A little bit. But on the inside of them, at least the one that I was looking at, had a lot of nice features and shit. It was kind of fancy up in there. More room than this one. I just don't like the Volvos because like your ass is sitting right up with the door panel, and I'm from the old school. I like to be riding a little bit lower. And it was a tough decision, to be honest, man, because I did like that Volvo. It was pretty sharp. But then I was looking at these and I was like, fuck it, I'll just take the International. So the first International, brand new, rolled out with it, got about 3,000 miles on it that week. Fucking big ass oil leak down in Louisville. We take it in the shop. Obviously under warranty, right? And they're like, oh, it's going to be a week and a half. You call your boss, you want to fly back and all this. I'm like, man, fuck all that. I call my boss. I'm like, man, I'm going to put some oil in this bitch and drive it back or what? He's like, yeah. I will say that it took a little over 2 gallons, my friends, to drive that motherfucker 500 miles. She was spitting oil like a son of a bitch. Got it back. And then they wanted to move me into another truck. And I said, nah, don't do that, man. And they're like, really? And I'm like, really? I'll just go home for a week or whatever. So they're like, how about you move into another brand new truck and stay in it? I said, deal's done. Let's do it. So I moved all my shit into this one. Well, this one, all right, I made it about 1,000 miles, and this motherfucker broke down. And I ain't even bullshitting. So I limped her into the shop. Engine fan was stuck on. Engine lights were on. Shit like that. And took a couple days off, which I was due for a reset anyway. And they fixed it, and so far it's been good. I haven't had any problems with it. They got some dumbass features on this new shit. Well, first of all, they have one cool feature that I like. They got turtle mode. You know how we're always slamming our kingpins and banging the docks with these automatics these days, especially these internationals, it seems, right? They freaking rev up, you know, you're like 1 foot away from the dock and you're creeping, and all of a sudden, vroom, it revs up and bam, you slam the fucking building. Yeah. Well, it has this turtle mode. I dig it. They should all have that. Because Freightliner supposedly has creep mode, right? But how many times you're backing into the dock and it says creep mode aborted? Well, who said to abort? I'm still backing in, you motherfucker. You know? So you just hit that turtle button there and she just creeps. Just softly back into the dock like a professional. But it had some features I didn't like. I don't really remember. The door locks. I'm going to make a video on that, alright? To help you people out on that whole deal. They decided to make it so that when you start driving, the doors lock themselves. That part's kind of cool, right? You forget to lock your doors. I guess they want it to be like a car. So when you set your park brake, they unlock. Who really wants that? You know, you pull in a truck stop or in a bad neighborhood, whatever, you don't really want the doors to unlock, you know. Alright, not the end of the world. You hear them unlock, you could relock them, right? But here's the thing. This truck and the last truck that I had, so it must be like a entirely bad glitch with International, is they would just randomly unlock. I'd wake up in the middle of the night or in the morning and the fucking doors would be unlocked. So I started running a ratchet strap till I got to see if I could figure it out, right? Well, then, like, you pull into the receiver or shipper, or you go in the truck stop, you get out of the truck, you lock the door, go in and take a shower or something, right? You come back out, the fucking truck's unlocked. It just randomly unlocks itself and shit. That's no good, right? So you leave your shit in here, somebody gonna steal it. You know, up in some badass neighborhood and stuff, right? Well, we took it in the shop, right? And we told them about the whole deal, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll turn that feature off." The only feature they turned off is the part where it locks itself when you start driving. That was the feature that we probably ought to kept. That was nice. So I went around and around with this thing, you know, because I'm a mechanic and everything. I'm like, we're gonna fix this problem. So I figured I'm going to go in that their fuse box, and I tried everything. I tried like pulling the key out. I tried all these different, you know, locking it with the key. Maybe that'll do it. It didn't matter. It just fucking does it. So that I'm just gonna pull the fuse out for the power locks, right? There ain't no fuses in these no more. They're breakers. And you know how in cars and trucks you'll say like power locks, power windows, wipers, so on, so on. There was not even one for that in there. So that was not an option. So here's what we did. Hopefully the boss man's alright with it. He'll probably never figure it out. But take the door panel off, unplug the fucking actuator for the locks. So we don't got power locks at all anymore. You gotta lock them with the old knobber, right? No big deal. Don't need that shit. And that's actually, it sounds kind of lame, but that's fucking annoying, man. You pull in these places like a shipper, receiver, and it's all busy and hectic and everything in there already, and you gotta maneuver, and this guy wants you out of the way, and you want him out of the way, and you gotta go check in, and they're yelling at you about some dumb shit, and dispatch is texting you some stuff, and all. You got a lot going on, right? You don't need to be sitting here worrying about your fucking doors unlocking and shit out there. It's true. Make it as easy as you can, right? It's just a job. You gotta try to do what you can do. So we got all that worked out, and the truck seems to be doing very well. Now I will say, y'all ever use that tire shine on your floor? I do. Alright. Now I'll tell you this, it looks fucking nice, right? She's shiny. But boy, you bust your ass when you wake up in the morning, you got your socks on. Slippery, but good looking. Now pay wise, I'm gonna make a video on that. You know, because it's all over the map, dude. I mean, you got some YouTube people out here, right? They got like 180,000 subscribers and stuff. And they do these market updates. And I ain't trying to like YouTube bash or nothing with my little tiny ass channel that I'm off and on, you know. And I got some haters, boy. And I want to say fuck you, because some of you guys like got my phone number and you fucking just all kinds of stalking. So fuck you. I made that clear to you already. But, they got these big channels and they're all talking about rates and this and that and the other thing. And, yo, like, I don't get it. I never did get it. I made videos back a while back when I was showing the rates, when I was doing that lease deal, that lease bullshit that everyone was saying I was working cheap. I mean, are they great? No, not really. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Between $2 and $2.50 a mile, I think. Right, so it ain't banging, but I'm making money. I made $2,100 last week, $1,800 the week before that, $2,050 or something the week before that. I think I only made like $1,600 the week before that because the truck had to go in the shop. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't really that bad as far as trucking goes. I mean, we got the guys who tell you, I'll make $5,000 a minute out here. Well, you ought to share that company name so the rest of us can go work there. Or you're full of shit. That could be it too. But I'm going to put my rate cons on here when I get around to it and break it down. Just kind of share with you guys if you're doing the gig, you know, and you give a fuck about it. Then just gives you an idea. Because that's what I do. I go on and look other people's and I'm like, okay, what are they making? Am I getting fucked? Or is shit just bad right now? You know, it's hard to tell, right? Because shit can get better and you think a company's going to be like, ooh, we're going to give you a raise. Fuck no. They're just going to make more money. But that's kind of how I did the deal here. I will say it was a little bit sketchy, my friends, because, you know, I have hopped jobs so many times in the last couple of years. The old resume looking a little sketchy. And then the companies aren't really hurting for drivers because so many companies going out of business. There's a surplus of drivers and all that. So I thought I was having some issues. So I started looking for other jobs. I get local jobs like, bam, all over. And I was like, man, I don't really want to go do that. Fuck that, I'm going back on the road. I started hitting over the road jobs. I'm sitting at home, man, and normally I put in an application for the over the road job. I hear from them like that day or the next morning or some shit, and then they want me to take a drug test and throw my shit in the truck and go, you know? I wasn't hearing from nobody. And I'm sitting at home going, uh-oh, I fucked up my career, man. Nobody wants Trucker Dustin no more. I was starting to get worried. I'm like, man, I might have to go to the fucking oil fields or go haul for the railroad or just like fly out to Kansas and get a company truck somewhere out there or Iowa or, you know, something. I was getting a little nervous thinking, shit. Well, I had some call me back. I went in and did interviews, which is weird. Remember when we didn't even used to interview? They'd be like, yeah, just come in and talk to us. Okay, take a drug test. Did you bring your stuff with you? You know? And then they're like actually interviewing me and asking me questions and stuff. So I did a couple of interviews and I was like, nah, I don't want to work here. These places are just, you know, 500-600 trucks. Nah, man. Those places are normally not very good, and they got all the beep, 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 beep bullshit on the trucks and the cameras and all that. And I'm like, yeah, I'd rather not. So I just stayed back a little bit, held out, drank some more beer, you know, and waited. And then this dude, I seen this ad here, and I shot him a application, right? He was back to me in like an hour, and then ready to do shit, and I wasn't sure about it, you know? I'm like, uh-oh. Well, I looked at Safer Web scores, fucking good. They're only like 8% out of service or something like that and shit. I was like, well, that's all good. They got pre-pass, toll pass. Obviously, new trucks, you know, shit like that. I'm like, well, maybe they're not that bad. Because they're kind of small. They only got like 30 trucks. He wants to have 50 by Christmas. And he's got a bunch of brand new ones sitting there right now. So he's adding on. That's kind of how it's going, Some of these larger companies that shut down, they didn't really want to stay in business anyway. They've already been rich. The people who started them are retired. The kids don't care anymore because they had daddy's money and they went and been lawyers and shit. So nobody really wanted to do the business anyway. They weren't hungry anymore. So it's kind of a changing of power, Obviously less freight, but, if one business goes down with 300 trucks, then that's 5 more small companies that gets to pick up that freight, right? Ain't that kind of how it works? But anyway, I found this place and I was like, all right, that'll work. I go in there and talk to him. It's like 58 cents a mile. It's kind of the thing now, There's some places, Grassmid's still paying 70 cents a mile. But that's kind of because you do a lot of short shit and Grassmid kind of sucks. Not horrible though. I mean, if you think about going to Grassmid, it ain't bad. Make money. I know a couple people working over there now. A couple grand a year. Or a couple grand a week. And it's not horrible, but it does kind of suck. So you got those and all that, but I was like, man, 58 cents a mile. All right. You gotta do what you gotta do right now, right? Or don't. Work somewhere else. Get out of trucking. It's always an option. But not for me. I'm a loser. But I negotiated. I said, how about this, man? Can I do percentage of the load? Now, I've done that before in the past. Sometimes you get fucked on that. There's companies, you got to really look at how they're working it. You definitely don't want to do percentage of the net. You want to do percentage of the gross, Shit like that. You don't want them to do none of that. Oh, you pay part of the tolls and insurance and fuel, and they tell you you're independent, but you're not, and all that bullshit. And oh, you're 1099. Pay your own state or your own fucking bullshit, right? But it's not like that. So I negotiated 25% of the gross. And I don't pay anything. I'm basically just company driver. I don't pay anything. And so far, it's working pretty good. In the past, I've done percentage of the load, and it usually just balances out to the same as you would make on mileage, right? But I think right now I'm doing a little bit better on the percentage because of the way the market is. Because it's kind of like this. The longer runs that we all miss, or most of us, I mean, you got your people who prefer to be like regional and shorter stuff, and then you got us that would rather run long. And most of my life, I always ran like Miami, Laredo, San Diego, shit like that. Seattle, the longest I can get. Even New York City, I used to run New York City all the time. And that wasn't really that long, but it paid good because it was New York. Anyway, the long loads aren't paying very well. They're using a lot of that intermodal, the rail now. Ever since the market took a shift and all that, the shippers are like, oh, well, it gets there a little bit slower, but I don't got to pay out the ass, So that kind of did away with a lot of the long shit. Well, there's a fucking huge market for like LTL and short shit right now. Well, if you're on mileage, right, and your company sends you 250 miles on this run and you got like an hour to load, 2 hours to unload and all this shit, you got all that time into it. But it's only 250 miles and you're only getting 58 cents a mile and you get fucked. But they don't, because it pays really good, right? So they're doing very well and you're getting fucked. Now, if they send you on like a long run, that doesn't pay very well, and then they got to pay you 58 cents a mile. So they're not doing very well on it, right? If you do percentage, you kind of win and lose together, right? Because if I do a long, we get paid the same. I do a short, we get paid the same. I've been doing as much short as I can right now, which haven't been real short, like 600-700 miles is generally what I've been doing. But in between, when I get back, I always tell him, like, dude, send me on a short, like fucking 2 hours down to Ohio or something. If it pays like $700 or something off the top of my head, fuck it, better than sitting here in the yard. I'll go run that real quick, come back, be back, do my 10, then we'll go on that one that's 780 miles. That's how you make money. Keep it moving. It's tempting to just say, no, I'm going to sit here in the yard and play on my computer and eat Burger King, take a nap. But I'm broke, and I used to be rich. So probably I'll do something about that. So that's where we're at on that whole deal. I don't mind doing it. I mean, I'm even running the East Coast again. I was in Baltimore the other day. I volunteered to run the boroughs in New York City with the New York City pay and $150 off the top. Then I'll go. Because I don't really, well, I do mind it. I don't like it down there. Maneuvering the truck is one thing. It's kind of stressful. But you can have that anywhere, really. I mean, fucking Pennsylvania, right? You go to some of this shit that was built back when they, had horse and buggies, but they're still using the building. You can get fucked up in Pennsylvania. So, mainly with me is anytime you get from like Boston to DC, that whole corridor there, fuck, you lose so much time sitting in traffic, But if you're getting paid percentage, that's another way it breaks down. Because if you're sitting in that traffic for 58 cents a mile, kind of fucked. You could be rolling, right? If you was in Indiana or Iowa or, Texas or something, you'd be rolling and turning and earning. But no, now you're sitting in traffic in that corridor that, if you've never been out there, it's not just a small traffic jam. It's like all motherfucking day, And then you go out on the island into the boroughs and shit. Holy crap. Yeah, looking forward to that. But haven't been down there yet. It's been years since I've been down there. Heard it's getting better. But anyway, you see what I'm saying? Now you're getting percentage of that New York City load that's paying good because they got to move it. And no one's wanting to pull it off the board, really, because no one really wants to go do it. Or your drivers don't want to do it, so you're not pulling it. You're taking an easier load, right? So they up the rates on it to entice some dumb fucker like me to go do it, right? You get what I'm saying? Because now you're getting 25% instead of sitting there burning nothing. So it seems to be working pretty well.
What the fuck is going on with this goddamn construction shit? Come on. That's just it. They're doing too much construction at one time. Well, they need to hire some damn Mexicans and hurry up with this bullshit.